Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the faculty meeting for April. It is once again a flipped model for you, and also you'll be working in your learning groups that you worked with last month in order to continue your conversations, essentially. And I also wanted to share a couple of things with you, some of which are the normal things that I share, and just a couple of reminders along the way. So here we go. First and foremost, of course, our staff members of the month. I asked everybody to nominate members of the Social Studies Department, and also in honor of National Paraprofessionals Day, which was actually on April 2nd, on Saturday, but we celebrated it on Friday. We wanted to nominate paraprofessionals as well. Before I get to that, I just wanted to thank everybody for participating in Light It Up Blue. It was really a wonderful day for everyone to bring awareness to autism. District-wide, we raised a nice sum of money that will be donated to autism awareness. And I just, again, wanted to thank you for your support of the day. There's an incredible amount of things to thank all of you and for your support of. This coming week is a pretty big, important week for senior experience. Thank you to everyone who's already made baskets and have been involved in the planning and the execution of this incredible event. Thank you for those of you who are modeling and for just coming on the night of and being a part of it. So it's Thursday, April 7th. Going to be a great night. Please be a part of it. And once again, it's a great way for our senior experience students to understand the value of community service, how to raise money for a fund, how to give to something bigger than themselves. And it's also a great experience for senior experience as a culminating part of their time in Senior X. Very many senior experience students go on to college and are also incredibly active in raising money, raising awareness, being activists in their own right. So this is a wonderful experience for them. And thank you to Jason Elias and Liz Separ for all their work. And that just kind of dovetails beautifully into who our social studies staff member of the month is. In fact, it is Liz Separ. Congratulations, Liz. Let me read to you what one of her colleagues wrote. There were quite a few recommendations for Liz to get staff member of the month, so it's a terrific thing. Elizabeth is an outstanding educator who most recently has masterfully taught AP World, 9H, Big History, and Senior Experience. She is a tremendous resource to her colleagues, especially those who are new to AP. She carves time out of her day on a regular basis to discuss both content and skills with her fellow teachers. This year, she started teaching Senior Experience and has collaborated closely with Jason Elias to get an understanding of the course and also work to develop new and innovative lessons to make it her own. This month, she will tackle the Senior Experience fashion show with the same grace and ease that she demonstrates on a daily basis. She's an outstanding professional and manages to be the tie that binds the Social Studies Department together as our sunshine. Congratulations, Liz. It's a wonderful choice for a tremendous colleague. Thank you for all that you do. And then for the paraprofessional of the month, the most highly nominated para is Peggy Schroeder. And here are some of the things that were written about Peggy. I nominated Peggy because she goes above and beyond for the one-to-one she works with. When Peggy's in our math class with her student, she's not just sitting in the back acting as a presence in the room, but Peggy learns the material just like everyone else. She wants to be able to help her student with the current topic, and she has a special relationship with her student that you don't see very often. She has a way of calming her down before tests and quizzes, and you never realize just how much she does. She's a truly genuine person who's a pleasure to have in the classroom. Aside from never being greeted with anything less than a smile from Peggy, she goes above and beyond for our students. She takes the time to not only know our students one-on-one, but knows how to help them learn, grow, and succeed. You can always hear Peggy's kind voice helping out our students and coming up with ideas to help students understand the material. She makes the students feel confident in themselves. Peggy, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing what you do for our students daily. Your smile is absolutely engaging and contagious. Thank you for all that you do. I sent an email a couple weeks ago, maybe about 10 days ago, about some AP testing days and important dates that are coming up the next couple of weeks. The calendar this year has just been very challenging, very, very challenging, and we've had a lot of activities and field trips before this break in April. It definitely has been a problem, and we have a lot of students that are involved in a lot of things, and it affects them, obviously. So, again, we're going to be working in the next few months to look at next year's calendar very closely to ensure that we don't run into the same situation next year as we did this year. We love that our students have so many opportunities and they go on so many trips and they have so many incredible memories of their high school experience as a result of their academic experiences in the classroom and also their field trips outside of the classroom. And we certainly want them to have that full-rounded experience. But we also know and realize that, academically speaking, when we're talking about AP exams, these are high stakes kinds of exams. They have to learn a lot of material at a level that many have not had the opportunity to be exposed to or be challenged to yet. And we know that the time in the classroom for helping them get what they need is incredibly important. So again, I'm really, really hopeful that this year's calendar is just a unique, one-time, crazy time, and we won't have to deal with it again. I'm also hoping that these AP finals will hopefully not have to be given in this way again, and we can get back to the way it was before the days of APPR. Our students that are in these AP courses are top-notch kids. Why we have to give these AP finals, it's really just a function of the APPR regulations. So if we can, the APPR committee, for example, is in the process of establishing what it's going to look like for next year, and hopefully the outcome there will be something that will serve our students incredibly well and still fulfill the regulations that unfortunately belong to us from the state. In any case, I just wanted to remind you that April 11th and 12th are AP Finals in Science. April 14th and 15th are the band and chorus trip days. And then April 19th through 22nd, that covers the other AP exams, including AP Literature, the AP Government and AP Macro finals, and also the AP World Language finals as well. So just be mindful that our top students are being tested in that window, and please, be cognizant, be conscientious. Do not test on days that do not belong to your particular department, and do what's good for your colleagues as well as your students. That's really why this particular kind of practice is in place. It's really to help your students not have 3 major tests on a particular day. That can be a lot for anybody, as you can imagine. So what have you been learning? Hopefully last month you got together with your learning groups and you took a look at one or more of the articles and had some rich discussions about what you were reading, what you were doing in your classrooms, what you hope to learn about and plan about. I wanted to share with you what the administrative team did last month and what we're going to continue to do this month. We've been exploring non CPI. We've been undergoing CPI training with Carla Funk, actually. CPI is the Crisis Prevention Institute, and they have really planned and honed nonviolent crisis intervention training, which is a way of dealing with any confrontation that you have in your life. Really, was sitting in room 111 with Carla and with the rest of the administrative team. It was really amazing how the video that we watched, the conversations we were having, really apply to any confrontation that we have in our lives, whether it's two colleagues with each other, a colleague with a student, teacher to student, student to student, administrator to teacher, parent to teacher, parent to administrator, any kind of confrontation you could possibly think of in our world of education can be solved and de-escalated and really dealt with in a positive way, in which both parties end up leaving feeling heard, feeling responded to, and also learning from the situation and coming up with a plan to solve whatever the issue is constructively. So again, we've been learning how to de-escalate situations, how to speak in a way that allows others to feel like you've been heard. Maybe that's probably something that we all need help with in every part of our lives. Sometimes we have such strong opinions about things. It's important to take a breath and listen very carefully. And before you take the time to speak, listen again and take a breath and think about what you're going to say before you say it. All of us are faced with situations with students, with colleagues, with parents, and taking a moment to think about how you are approaching that situation, thinking about a way that you can approach it in a way that is positive and in a problem-solving kind of manner. I'm telling you, it's been really a great thing for us to experience, and we're hoping that through our own actions and modeling these behaviors, that all of us can learn a little bit about how to deal with difficult people and difficult situations in a way that really solves the problem and takes the high energy and anger and frustration out of a situation, just sort of popping the balloon, so to speak, before things get out of hand and get crazy. So that's what we've been spending time with. Like I said, last month we met in 111. We'll continue as a group to meet in 111 with Carla and have the second half of the training. So that's been, I've really enjoyed it. And so thank you, Carla, for giving us that opportunity. I would love for all of you to reflect about what you've been doing during these times, and also to think about where you want to go. So what areas do you want to explore? For this month and for tomorrow in your groups, reflect back on your conversation from last month. Think about what you're currently facing, and then what areas do you want to explore? Is this method of meeting like this in small groups, is it something that we can and should continue in the future? Should we look as a faculty to come up with a way to make this continue? For example, I really think that scheduling collaborative planning time, obviously, for collaborative partners is priority number one to make that model of teaching work effectively. It's going to be really important for us in the scheduling process to make sure that that happens. I also really want to work really hard to see if there's a way to schedule people that teach the same course to have off the same period. I know in math this year, to some extent, we had success with the Algebra 2 trig teachers and with geometry teachers having similar periods, having the same period off to be able to plan with each other. You know, we, in teaching, it's especially with the new standards and the new frameworks that are coming on board in social studies and, Algebra 2 starting in full force in math, in addition to already geometry and algebra Common Core. Planning together, seeing each other teach, going into each other's classes to see their practices. It's so, so valuable, and we need to move towards that as a learning community together. These are opportunities for us as colleagues to learn from each other. It's not just your professional growth. Excuse me. Your professional growth is a function of what you do yourself and what you can offer colleagues and what your colleagues with you can do together. By being able to see each other, by being able to tape each other's lessons, do lesson studies. I'm telling you, it is so powerful to see the growth that happens when people plan together and when people watch each other teach and give each other feedback. I'm really hoping that with new APPR regulations that we'll be able to get back to intervisitations much more often and formally. I really feel like the two observations that are done for tenured faculty, the formal and the walkthrough, it's a wonderful thing to be able to see what you're doing in your classrooms, but really having more exposure to each other, getting into each other's classrooms more often, to see what we're doing, to see how we're solving problems on a daily basis, to think about our pedagogical choices and to talk about them with each other. Like, here's what I want to do with this group of kids. They're really struggling with concept A. I'm having difficulty figuring out how to reach these kids. What are your suggestions? That's where we become great. That's how we can grow and do our jobs in amazing fashion for our kids. We are not islands. You can't think that what you know and what you do is the best in every situation. Learning from colleagues, trying things in new and different ways, using your classrooms as learning labs. That's where it happens. That's where the terrific moments can be. So that's what I want you to do this week with your groups. Think about where you've been last month. Think about the ideas that you've talked about. Maybe delve into another article together. Perhaps take a moment to talk about what you want to try for next year, because wow, here we are in April already, right? April's going to be a pretty quick month. Then we're already in May, and boom, end of the year meetings start. We're talking about goals for next year. Right now we're on that downward roller coaster ride to get to the end of the year, and we're focusing on getting through curriculum and helping our kids review for these big exams. It can get pretty crazy. So take the moment tomorrow. Take that time with your colleagues to take a breath. Think about where you've been this year, but more importantly, where you want to go. Think of what you want to try for next year, what your goals are, what you want to explore in a deeper, more significant way than maybe you have before. That's what I implore you to do. And we'll come back in May to the faculty meeting having an opportunity to share some of those conversations with each other, both as a whole group and in small group discussions. And we'll have an opportunity to meet together as a whole group in May back in the West Cafeteria to sort of talk about again these conversations that you've had, but also end of the year procedures, because again, end of the year is right around the corner. So that about sums it up for me. I hope you have a great teaching day, a great teaching week. We have a couple more weeks, like I said, before vacation, and there we go. I want to really tell you all how grateful I am to work with all of you. Going in and out of your classrooms, seeing you in the hallways, seeing our kids and how they are growing, how they've gone in so many incredible directions because of what you have provided to them. I am so blessed. I really am. Thank you all for what you do. Have an awesome week.